It's important to keep things fun and fresh, and Maine high schools are no different. So we get our hands on a list of proposed new mascots in a segment that we're calling Proposed New Mascots for Maine High Schools. Guys? All right, so here's the deal, folks. We have these mascots, and as part of High School Night earlier today, high school students from all across Maine developed the graphics you were about to see for these. So this is pretty neat. So here's the first one. So much is done for kids these days. This one's clearly for the parents or maybe the grandparents. It's not only a creative play on words, but also acknowledging the fact that everyone in Bangor's neighboring town looks a little green. It's the Herman Munsters. That's the mascot there. Little green and Herman. There isn't always a lot of love for Lewiston, and that could be a result of graduates of Lewiston High School having such a rough time in college, they even need to take remedial nap time. Here's a great example of a logo capturing everyone's thoughts in a single image. It's the Lewiston, huh? It's common knowledge, thank you. It's the common knowledge that the town of Van Buren is named after U.S. President Martin Van Buren. It's time for the high school that honors his name to honor his most distinguishing feature, his jaw-to-ear facial hair. And that's the case with the proposed new mascot for Aroostook County's Van Buren Sideburns. Ta-da! Beardy the Sideburn is their mascot. That's exciting. We aren't saying that this town isn't particularly delightful, but we think that the developers of this mascot missed the point, or at least the letter A, as Carmel High School is proposing their new mascot to be the Carmel Delights. A little bit different.
They're selling them.
A little different. Orono High School put a lot of effort into their proposed new mascot, taking the likeness of every valedictorian they've had since the late 1950s. Wow, since the late 1950s.
Hey,
it's the Orono High School typical valedictorian.
Yeah.
In many cases, area schools like to incorporate what the town is best known for as they develop their high school mascot, and the town of Elton is no different with their proposed new mascot. It's Toothy, the one clean tooth in Elton. Old Toothy, he's so lovable. Cold? Heck yes, it snowed there earlier this week, a lot, so why not call a spade and frozen limbs, with the Crown of Maine's proposed new mascot? It's the Fort Kent Frostbite.
That's what it looks like. I had no idea.
Kind of does. Bet you didn't know that Orrington had a high school. Well, they don't. But if they did, they already have a proposed mascot that captures the feeling of the people who live there and all of the activities to do in town. It's the Orrington Borringtons.
You'll be square if you're there.
Sometimes it just feels better to show everyone how much better you are than they are, and that's the premise behind the proposed mascot for a southern Maine town where unemployment is low and tips for low-paid restaurant workers is even lower. It's the Yarmouth Yuppies. The Yarmouth Yuppies, ladies and gentlemen. Sometimes, when you're looking at a mascot, it's best to find something that's recognizable and interchangeable, and that's exactly what Skowhegan would be getting if they approved this mascot idea. It's the Skowhegan High School things in Donald Trump's head.
Oh, no. That's scary. The mascot gets beaten up a lot.
A lot. Some say high schools feed the workforce, and in Rockland, the workforce is on the ocean catching fish, so the committee to create a new high school mascot for Rockland High decided to take the feeding approach and go with a mascot that feeds the fish. And that's where they developed the Rockland Chum. The Rockland Chum.
Yum.
This proposed mascot goes a long way toward encouraging kids to give back while in high school, while also encouraging an organization the chance to recruit younger members. Plus, what's better than high school sports with swords? You'll get to see it if this proposed mascot takes shape. It's the Narraguagus Knights of Columbus. We aren't really sure where this proposed new mascot came from, except maybe it's a fierce animal that even the toughest of sports opponents would be fearful of. It's the St. Agathe Rabid Poodle. How about that guy? And finally, you don't have to be a Patriots fan to dislike NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell. In fact, all you have to be is a decent human being. With plenty of decent humans in Scarborough, they decided on a proposed mascot that would capture everyone's feelings toward the town's most famous deplorable human. It's the Scarborough Goodell Haters. And that is our new mascots, everybody.